Alright, here's a Terradive in his alt mode, which is out of a jet fighter. Now, I believe the jet that they kind of modeled this guy after is a Russian Sukhoi Su-47 or something like that. Don't know if I got the number right on that, but basically what it was a Russian experimental fighter jet, and it was experimental in the sense that it had the forward swept wings like what you see here on this guy. Had also the small wings in the front and the two twin engines in the back. So yeah, if you go online and look it up, you'll probably notice that it is very similar to this. Again, they're both forward swept wing fighter jets. Anyways, let's move on here and look at the package and character bio for this guy. So there's the package there. You see his alt modes, stats, and the little picture of his robot mode there. And it says here, Terradive loves to dive toward unsuspecting prey with the sun behind him. The light blinds his target, and the scream of his engine terrifies them, leaving them easy pickings for the blades of his trident, with jet blades serving as a decoy. Tomahawk will never know what hit him. So that's the little bio there. It's not much of a bio, really. But let's bring this guy back in and look at him. So there's his jet mode, or his alt mode. And again, I think it's really nice. I like the color scheme. I like the little orange and black that they got there on it with the little white accents. If you notice here, the wings actually kind of tilt down, so they're actually kind of downward facing and forward swept. So again, it's a very sort of unique looking alt mode or jet mode. The underside here, you can store his little trident weapon, which is really his only accessory. And it just kind of snaps in there, and you just unhook it like so. Just remove it. This little arm here kind of rotates and clips onto that. And let's talk about his little trident here. To transform it, or extend it, really, you just unhook it here, rotate it. Now, my joint here is kind of stiff, so be careful because this plastic feels kind of fragile. And you might want to put some pressure here and bend it or break it. And it's kind of a theme with this guy. He's a little bit of a fragile figure. Anyways, you just pull this down like that, and that pops out his little trident blades like so. And that's his little trident weapon. And quickly, let's do a little size comparison here. And I got Generations Thrust. He's another deluxe class figure, and just kind of bring him in there. Just kind of show him off there. Oops, the landing gear folded up on me. But yeah, you can see the size there of them. So they're roughly the same size. I think this guy being just a little bit skinnier, but overall length is the same. So yeah, just a little quick reference there. But yeah, I think the alt mode's really well done. Not a whole lot to complain about on it. And with that, I think we're done looking here at the alt mode. Let's move on to the next part. Alright, it's time to transform this guy. First of all, what you want to do is just fold up the landing gear here. Let's just get this out of the way, like that. Now, like I mentioned earlier, this guy is a little on the fragile side in my opinion, so just kind of be a little careful with him, and I'll try and show some of the parts that I think are kind of fragile or that you'll have to watch out for when you're transforming this guy. Anyways, probably the first part you want to start with here is his legs, which are just kind of right here. So just basically unhook these here like that. There's some little posts that kind of hold them in place. And these wings are kind of attached to the legs, so just kind of loosen them up here from the joint if you can, like that. And like that. That's just going to free those up. And let's kind of turn them over here. Basically, you just want to kind of rotate these forward like that. Just kind of get them out of the way. The next part would be to do is the nose cone here. You just want to pull it and slide it all forward. Let's see if I can do that. Like that. And this is one of those parts that's a little fragile because what you want to do is flip this forward. So you can see here it's just held in place by this little pin right here. So if you're not careful, you can kind of bend this out and just snap it off. And it does feel kind of a little flimsy almost. But anyways, what you want to do now would just be to kind of finish up his legs and feet here. And his wings here on these little arms, and they just kind of unhook like that and bend out like that. And you want to rotate these around so that this post pegs into this other little hole down here. So just kind of twist it around like so until you line it up with that little post, and just kind of fold it in there or snap it in. It doesn't really snap, just kind of pops in there. But let's do the same thing here. This guy is a little bit of a floppy guy when you're transforming him, so parts are going to kind of want to move all over the place. And then these wings here, you just want to rotate up, and they'll kind of snap into place here. Let's see if I can get those up there. Yep. Don't think I got it lined up quite right. Let's see. This little hole here's got to go on that little post. Oh, there it goes. Let's see. Let's get that there. And do that one there. My ball joints on this guy, on mine here, are kind of loose. So this is actually going to be the front. And you just want to snap those on like that. And just do his feet here. You just rotate that forward and flip out his heels. Do the same thing here. Kind of like that. You can see these are kind of loose. But this part here is actually going to be his chest. So here's his waist, and you just want to you got to kind of get these underneath here and then swing this part forward, because this part's going to rest against the back side here like that, and that kind of snaps back into place like that. So the nose cone's going to be facing up. And then these little wings here, you just bend them forward, and this kind of finishes the rest of his chest and torso area. Actually, you kind of want to get these a little out like that, because the next part you're going to want to do is rotate this part around, and those kind of get in the way. So rotate it around. I don't know if you saw that there, but it's like this, and just rotate it like this, and then bend this whole part back like that. That's going to kind of form like his shoulder area. Let's see if I got it there on camera right here. And then you can do now, just flip this little part up like that. That's going to reveal his head, and just flip that forward. And now you want to unhook his arms, which are in here. So just kind of unhook these. They're kind of held together by some little posts there. And then just rotate them out. And this is another part that's a little flimsy here, because this plastic here that these wings are on, it just feels kind of, it bends and flexes a lot when you're rotating these out. So just kind of be careful that you don't snap anything in here or break anything off. But what you want to do then is just take this and rotate it. Actually, what you can do first is just unhook his arms right here. Just pull them out, rotate these down and around like that. There's his two arms. And then these you want to just rotate and get them kind of lined up, because you're going to bend this whole part back like this and swing these back up. And then this just pegs into this little post right here. Let's see if I can line that up like so. And it's starting to come together now. And then his shoulders here just kind of snap into these little grooves there. Like so. Again, you got to kind of line some of these things up just right. If they're not, they kind of want to pop out. See, like I don't got this one all the way in there. See, this whole part can really flex on you, and it just, I don't know, they should have made them a little bit sturdier, I think. But there you go. And then this part, you just rotate it back up. And with that, you mostly got him done with his robot mode. Now the next thing to do, or the last thing to do really, is just do his little hands. And these are kind of neat. Basically, you just hold on to this little tab here and just swing that out, and that's going to reveal his little fists. And you just kind of grab it, pull it up, rotate it out, and then push it back down. And then that's just, you got to kind of, now this is another part here, you can break these little posts off, I would think, because they're so small. So just be careful, make sure you line them up with the little holes that they go into. Don't put a lot of force on it. And let's do the same thing here. Let's get that part opened. Just kind of, if you don't have small fingers, it's kind of hard to get in there. But Yeah. Like that. And with that, you have him now in his robot mode. Again, mine, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if this is on every figure, but at least on mine, the ball joints here on his hips are really kind of loose, so he gets a little floppy sometimes when I'm trying to stand him up here. But there you go, now he's in his little robot mode. Let's take a look here at him. His robot mode here, let's kind of stand him up straight if I can. He's kind of tilting there a little bit. There we go. I really like his robot mode. I think it looks very unique. I like the design of it. I really like the head sculpt here. Let's try and get in a little bit tighter on that. But yeah, I really like the head sculpt there. I think he looks like a nice evil Decepticon there. Definitely doesn't look like an Autobot. I do wish, however, that they didn't paint his eyes red, because he does have the little clear plastic in the back for looks like the light piping. And I think it would have been better if he had just some red light piping in there. I think it would have looked a lot better actually. But kind of pan out a bit. But yeah, really cool. I like the design of his chest, how they formed that up with the nose cone kind of inverted and pointing up, and just kind of the way it sticks out. He does have a lot of little gaps in here, and you know, when you look at him, it looks like it's, you know, kind of ugly in a way, but it's not so bad. It kind of covers up and fills out pretty well. You know, they maybe could have filled it out a little bit better, but it's not bad really. You don't really notice it so much when you got him in robot mode. But he does have a little Decepticon symbol there, which is kind of cool. And again, I like the little hands, the way they transform. Let's just kind of pan on down here. There's his legs. And there you go, you can see his legs and feet, and kind of there's the wings. They just kind of sit there on the side. So the legs here kind of remind me of, what was it, Cybertron Sideways? Kind of just the way they sit there on the sides. But yeah, and let's just kind of turn him around and look at him on the back. But yeah, it's a pretty cool figure. I think the robot mode's very well done. I like it. Again, it's rather unique looking. I just like the overall design of him, very kind of slender and sleek looking. He looks like an evil Decepticon, so that's good. As far as articulation goes on this guy, pretty decent. You can rotate him here at the shoulders, pivot up and down here. He can rotate here, bend at the elbows. The little wrists here can turn around. The head's on a little ball joint. There's no waist movement, but the hips are ball jointed here, and they can kind of rotate there like that. And you can bend them at the knees. Mine are a little stiff, and you can bend them at the feet there. So yeah, pretty decent range of movement for him, so you should be able to get some decent poses out of him. And again, his little trident here, you can make him hold it in both hands. You can rotate his wrist so you can line it up and make him hold it in both hands like they show on the packaging. Quickly, let's do another little size comparison. Let's bring back in Thrust, or Generations Thrust, and just kind of take a look at him there with this other deluxe class figure. So yeah, you can see he's a little bit taller now, or almost the same size, but just slightly taller than Thrust there. So he's pretty good size for a deluxe class figure. I think he's really cool. Anyways, as far as recommending this guy, or my final thoughts on this guy, I would say definitely pick this guy up. It's one of the better movie line / Hunt for the Decepticon figures out there. I think it's a very good alt mode. I think it's very unique. The posability is pretty good. I like the weapon. It's not something you see every day with the Transformer. And he's pretty cool Decepticon. So yeah, definitely go out and get this guy. He should be out in the stores now. Anyways, that's my look here at Transformers Hunt for the Decepticon Terradive.